Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Muhammad Adib and my group mate is Haidil, Jerry and Shahir. Today, we will explicitly discuss about the topic that social media plays a significant role on mental health and well-being. Did you know, according to Pew Research Center, by referring to a global data, there is an increase of 52% of severe depressive symptom cases from 2005 and 2017. While suicide, which is the second most leading cause of death among youth nowadays, had increased by about 47.2% since the year of 2000. Worryingly, there is two recurring correlations between these two cases: the emergence of smartphones and the upsurge of social media applications. These two were believed to be the main causes of these incidents. Hence, our academic paper was written with a specific stance on our mind, which was proven previously by the statistics. Social media, in general, bring more harms to the users than benefits in terms of mental health and well-being. Some may argue that social media also have a positive side. We do not deny that. However, the positive aspect of social media is just simply outweighed by how it is impacting our netizen negatively due to social media trade itself, which causes insecurity, anxiety, cyberbullying, suicide, addiction, and even hampering human relationships. Our claim on this issue is social media can be more beneficial if and only if these two conditions are to be met. First is we know exactly how to use social media properly and effectively with a good behavior, such as using it to spread kindness and information and refrain ourselves from throwing unnecessary comments. The second one is each one of us need to learn how to cope with negative effects due to social media, such as fear of missing out, which is also known as FOMO, anxiety, and self-belittling. The thing is, what we see on the social media is not as what it is. Be more proud of yourself and love yourself more.
Hi everyone, I'm Shahir Aziz. So I will continue this presentation starting with the background of this academic paper. So to be more specific, we are doing the argumentative paper. I hope Adib's introduction just now can give you a picture on why we are writing on this topic. This background can help us to have better understanding on our writing. These are the purposes of this argumentative paper. So we have listed out three purposes. We as teammates frequently rely on these purposes so that when conducting our project or while we are writing to the paper, we make sure we do not do out of context for what we want to achieve. So the first purpose of this paper is to explore the correlation between social media and mental health. We want to find out, does social media can do anything to human state of emotion? Next is to find the impact of this activity and how far the consequences someone can experience from social media. And last but not least, the purpose of this paper is to provide evidence from primary source. So for our primary source, we had conducted a survey in Google form, and there were 34 respondents, and those 34 respondents were are frequently using social media, so they can relate with our topic. So from that responses, we try to relate or support our main ideas to make these arguments more reliable. Hi everyone. So next I will give you a brief explanation on what is social media and what is mental health. So according to Weissman, social media is internet platforms that allow humans to interact anywhere. Medium includes photos, text, and videos. Nowadays, humans have social media accounts for them to communicate or interact with their family, friends, or anyone from all around the world. So right here, here are quite famous social media that have been used by human nowadays. This includes Instagram, where people can share photos, Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Telegram. Next is mental health. Mental health, according to LAC, is feelings on how people think, feel, react to circumstances. It can also refer to emotional well-being. So mental health is a state of well-being in which individual realize his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. So from here we can understand that mental health is quite important in our life because it affects daily routines, relationship, and physical health. And it really refers to person's ability to enjoy life because we as humans have emotions. So it is important to make sure our mental health is at a very good.
We have 5 negative impacts of social media. They are self-esteem and insecurities, cyberbullying, suicide, addiction, and human
Hi
relationship.
everyone, I'm Shahir, and today I'll be explaining about our first main idea, which is self-esteem and insecurities. So before I start, let me give you a brief definition of self-esteem. Self-esteem, according to Cherry, can be defined as person's view about their own values and worthiness. So it is about your own values and your own worthiness. So for the first point, social media forms unrealistic expectations of life. Most users have lack of authenticity of their true self. Their posting aim to make themselves look good in people's eyes. They might be desperate for Instagram likes after posting a photo as form of validation. So for the second point, Classic and Stones stated that social media allow users to portray positively about themselves. The problem arises when people start making unhealthy comparisons. We as humans tend to look out for the best part of everyone else's life, not yourself, which you compare to the negative in your own life. Comparing yourself to other people is a sure path to anxiety and depression, and it can affect negatively on your mental health, and social media has only made this easier to do. For the third point, according to a journal written by Plantic in 2014, negative self-esteem can be influenced by comparison with others and jealousy. Based on the survey that we have conducted, 42% out of 34 respondents have felt a sense of jealousy after looking at their friends' posting. France University, which in the other countries, better appearance in terms of fashion or facial structure, and friends' relationship with their family were some of the postings that made our respondents jealous. User might lead to social anxiety when they start to refrain themselves from connecting with their friends or families after looking at certain postings because they might feel embarrassed or not suitable enough to hang out or to be around them. Therefore, we should be a wise social media user by stop comparing yourself and be grateful on what you have.
Hello doctor, my name is Muhammad Aidil and I will be present to you 2 main points which are cyberbullying and suicide. Cyberbullying. Teenagers are more likely to be victims of cyberbullying and to get abusive comments in general. This is because in 2020, roughly 55.7% of social media users will be between the age of 20 and 30. Due to a lack of exposure to the negative repercussions of cyberbullying, these individuals may have acted more aggressively on social media, writing abusive comments and even sharing private information on social media. Around 10% of teenagers say that they have been harassed on social media, and many others have been subjected to insulting remarks. Twitter and other social media such as Facebook and Instagram are among the hotbeds for spreading cruel gossips, propaganda, and violence that can leave long-lasting emotional wounds. According to The Star, a poll conducted in February 2018 by a group of 6 researchers and lecturers from University Kebangsaan Malaysia found that the majority, which is 53.5% of youngsters, had moderate to high tendencies to be a cyberbully rather than a victim. In a survey done by our group, we found that around 38.2% from the survey confessed that they have been a victim of cyberbullying or even witnessing or witnessed a form of cyberbullying in social media. Cyberbullying has been a normal occurrence in Malaysia. In fact, Malaysia came in second in Asia for the number of occurrences of cyberbullying among teenagers. In conclusion, we can say that it is obvious that cyberbullying is more common among teenagers. Next, these are among respondents' experiences encountering cyberbullying. These experiences that we gathered from our survey from Google Form. For your information, Curious Cat is an app or a website where you can leave a comment while being unknown. The second experience tell you about uh, racist remarks in Malaysia. Next, suicide. Suicide is one of the bad consequences of using social media incorrectly. How, but how can social media have an impact on someone's life until they make a life-altering decision to commit suicide? According to reports, abusive remarks or cruel comments as well as online postings can cause emotional harm such as trauma and depression, which can lead to suicide. Abusive language such as body shaming and racial insults can make someone feel insecure, leading them to believe that they are not good or not pretty enough. For example, Molly Russell, a 14-year-old teen, for example, committed suicide after seeing posts on Instagram about self-harm and suicide. Another case included a Sarawakian girl who committed suicide after conducting an Instagram poll. She, who was 16 years old at the time, polled her Instagram followers on whether she should die or not, and 69% of those who responded believe she should. This proof that social media can lead to suicide. According to a survey, 82.4% of 34 respondents from our survey feel that social media can lead to suicide. To summarize, improper use of social media can result in most heinous outcomes imaginable. We should have also shown more concern for those around us, particularly our family members and friends.
Thank you for previous presenter, Muhammad Haidil. My name is Jeriasa Chen Siming. I'm going to present the other two main points of our topic, which is social media play a significant role on our mental health and well-beings. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I would like you all to lend me your ears for my presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, addiction. So addiction is a behavior where you really like doing something you really do the most, like addiction to playing games, addiction on reading book. Your addict is a behavior, so you going to do something that you most likely is you like to do every hour, every times when you are free. So, but right now we are talking about addiction to social media. So, what we have done in our research and been claimed by La Bareva D, addiction to online social media as well as internet, so is a addiction. Internet addiction in general are recent and infrequently investigate phenomena frequently discussed and sometimes disputed in the physical literature. So sometimes addiction to internet also one thing that been discussed or frequently been discussed with the others professor or other country. And then this addiction habit to social media will getting oneself to immerse into social media life and will take off most of his or her daily hour to spend on other things besides than social media that been claimed by white men in the 2015. So as we all know, I think everyone's also have this habit to social media who is playing Facebook. Even myself playing Facebook, watch the video like more than 1, 2, 3 hours, and I lazy to wake up from my bed or wake up going away from my chair. This is my one of example of myself having an addiction to social media. The third main point, ladies and gentlemen, this addiction on social media can change a real life person habit, which is the symptom and that they will show a FOMO symptom. FOMO symptom is fear of missing out. What is mean by fear of missing out, ladies and gentlemen? Do you ever fear that you being left by your friends when they're talking about football or something in general, or maybe in education, maybe in your learning, maybe you don't come, but meet you sick, you did not come to your class and you miss out, but you having a fear of that, so you go to the class. That's one meaning of fear. FOMO symptom for social media is fear of missing out. Fear of missing out on the social media, such as such as such as the Facebook update where or Instagram update. They post a picture, they post the video, they post a new feeds to your Facebook. So, but then you cannot see it because you're working or you're learning or you're studying. So you're having a FOMO symptom, fear of missing out. And then lastly, Dr. Cecilia Anderson and College of the University of Bergen in Norway state that you spend a lot of time thinking about Facebook and planning how to use it. And you use Facebook application to forget about personal problem. So ladies and gentlemen, to be honest, all of you using social media, sometimes who are working, they want to take a 5 from their working environments. Also a student, you want to take a 5 from your studying environment because you already spend like 4 to 5 hours watching online video, listen to online teachings. You want to take a 5. So we all agree about this, and we also having a survey using a Google Forms. So most likely we are going to see the chart. So ladies and gentlemen, as you can see on this chart, on our Google, on this chart has been from our responses from our Google platform. 82 of them, 82% of our responses from our Google Form platform strongly agree that social media can lead to addiction, while 50% of our responses from our Google Form platform agree that social media can lead to addiction, but 3% of our Google from our responses strongly disagree that social media can lead to addictions. As you can see from our pie chart here, you can see 82% from our responses that they all agree that social media can cause addictions because they can change your lifestyle, your behavior. So as I giving you example of myself watching those watching those Facebook can be make your waste of a lot of times. So that's all for addictions. Now coming to the second part. So ladies and gentlemen, my second point on today's presentation is human relationship. There is a claim that states there will be much positive value that we can get in human relationship between among themselves by using social media in daily communications. So there's also a negative impact where a team found that social interaction on social media sites, especially Facebook, may have a negative impact on face-to-face to encounter for individual for they have a high level of anxiety. So when it come to a person with having high level anxiety, they might be not common or not every day they talking to face with other persons. So they're having a high level anxiety, nervous, where can cause miscommunication or misunderstanding when they're talking to each other when coming to face. And also it will be like high level anxiety of fear of persons. They don't want to talk to persons face to face, and it is can cause a lot of misunderstood when they coming to face talking. James Father of the School of Medicine at UCSD suggests that we can cause our friend emotional expression to change from bad and to good. uh, Stated by Whiteman H 2015. So ladies and gentlemen, as you all can see on this slide, so 55% from our survey responded that strongly agree that our response get to know about their friend by socializing through social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, while 33% of our response that agree that our responses get to know about their friends by through social media. But there were 3% and 9% strongly disagree that our responses get to know about their friend by socializing through social media. This is through our Google platforms. Now I would like to pass on to the second to our next presentation.
For this part, the part aims to make ourselves more objective and reasonable based on the stance stated in thesis statement. An argument is found here, and suitable reasoning is given to contradict the argument. So the argument that we have found from the article that we have read and evaluated, Collins stated that people use social media to manage their mental health by socializing virtually, to seek help by asking anyone if they are experiencing similar situations and they found it helpful. For us, this argument, we do not agree with this argument, and here are our refutations. Firstly, misunderstanding and miscommunication frequently happen when communicating through social media. Assumptions and different interpretations arise when seeking help through social media, as different people can have different views and different understanding built upon their own experiences and background knowledge on related issues. For instance, you might be posting a story seeking for help, but someone just ignore it after reading it or find it you are the obvious people on social media who are attention seeker, because most people aware social media have a severe lack of authenticity. Next is someone is exposed to cyberbullying if they seek help to manage their mental health through social media. Perpetrators take this opportunity by giving false interpretations and make your postings go viral in hope to bring shame to the victim. They might be your friends, but they create a fake profile account and then later betray and embarrass you online. Many people do not directly correlate their online life with their real life, or in easy words, they are not using common sense in handling issues. Logically, ask yourself, would you share such personal struggles with random people you encounter on the street? You are sharing your problems and issues amongst your friends or people who might do not know you. They are not therapists to help you in your mental health. Therefore, seek professional treatments from counselor and professional psychologists.
As the presentation is nearing a closure, I would like to conclude and reaffirm our stance and our key points. Based on the evidence set forth herein, from our various sources, including our own surveys, it is indisputable to clinch that social media does affect the user's mental health and well-being negatively, such as inflicting insecurity and damaging one's insecurity to the point that they may have thought of suicide or at least to self-harm. On top of that, cyberbullying unfortunately can be considered as a common occurrence nowadays, which indicate how badly we actually are at handling our interaction and relationships, whether it be virtually or in real life. A year passed, and a year passed, and eventually it became a decade. And yet, regrettably, there was no significant actions taken to prevent the graph from rising every day. Hopefully, there will be no from our mutuals who will be contributing to the graph. Therefore, to deny how immersive social media affects every each of us negatively and how we were blinded by a little to non-significant positive impacts is utterly disappointing. Improving our lifestyle such as online time, sleep pattern, and our real life interaction will be a great help to heal our mental health and well-being. Besides, we need to figure our own coping mechanism so that we won't be affected by social media too badly. Start your actions today and savor the fruits in the future. Thank you.